Morning. Today we are going to make a tomato soup cake for our dessert tonight. For this one, I'm going to use the 12-inch digit. So there's what they look like. Black and catfish got nice crust. Okay, so my mom, before she got sick and stuff, a couple years ago, gave me an old Campbell soup cookbook, and in there was a recipe for tomato soup cake, and I was very intrigued by that. So I kind of kept it in the side of my mind. I went ahead and recopied it to my little cookbooks here, and but haven't made it yet. And then not too long ago, about a month maybe, Kerry Grubb from Facebook, I guess he found it online somewhere and asked me if I had ever heard of it. And I told him that I had not, but that I had a copy of it and was always wanting to give it a try. So that's what we're doing today, is we're giving it a try. We are calling it, though, for my wife's purposes, a spice cake. I just knew I was going to run out of flour. Glad I came prepared. Missed about a quarter of a cup. So it calls for a 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour or 2 cups of cake flour, but you know, with the exception of say maybe whole wheat flour, camp purposes, I just try to keep everything as an all-purpose flour. So there we go. I'll take care of the rest of that. And some other stuff. Okay. And there's 1 cup of sugar. Yes, 1 cup of sugar. Our spices, which, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Where did the teaspoon go? I had them. Lost them. Oh, maybe I did not have them. Teaspoons of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of ground clove, oven came up to temperature good today. I thought that I'd be having to wait a while for it, and it's ready before I am. And then half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and half a teaspoon of cinnamon. That was pretty easy. And then we just sift all that together, and I'm going to kind of spare you. I'll get it started, and then that's a lot too. got 1 can of tomato soup, and 10 and 3/4 ounces. We add that. Shortening. How much is the shortening? 1/2 cup. Of course. Okay, so I have a hard time washing all that stuff out of these, so I try to eyeball that as best as I can. And that should be relatively close. And we're not going to make you watch all this, but I've got a little handy dandy egg beater here, and we're going to mix this. It's going to take us a while, so we'll get all this mixed up and then come back. Oh, I tell you, that was a workout. Remember though when you were a kid and your mom got to share the beaters with you? That was always a treat. Well, if the cake tastes anything like the raw dough, that's going to be good. So, got all that mixed up. Let me show you here. It's actually pretty. And the oven is doing really good at holding 350. I've got 2 cake pans already greased and dusted. There goes one of them murderous acorns. Not the best of bakers. I need to get more practice for that, but I'm trying to at least make sure it stays even. I'll tell you though, this was a lot thicker than I was expecting it to be. That was quite the workout. Blending it up. I know, I'm right in the camera angles. I do not think I am going to get anything more out of it than that. Alright. I don't know how I did it, but I've got some little shims underneath the stand here, and I downloaded an app from my phone for making sure things are level, and it's within the bubble, so it's about as level as it's going to be. But we'll let that bake. How long do we let that bake? 30 to 35 minutes. I'm going to put a half-hour timer on my phone once I find it, and then we'll come back and check on it. Okay, so let's see how 30 minutes did. Still right at 350. Well, maybe it's not as level as I was hoping it to be. And still just a little sticky. So I'm going to go 5 more minutes. Okay, 3 more minutes. Nice and brown. Yeah, he's coming out clean. Okay. Let's get him out of here, as lopsided as he is. It's a nice looking cake, minus the shape of it. So we'll let him cool in the pan for a few minutes. Let me explain my idea here. So, you know how you can make them little aluminum shims to for your Dutch oven lids? And I got yesterday's Dutch oven. Got the shims off at it, and what my idea is to place these towards the back, so when I slide the pan in there, it'll lift the back side of the pan up. Alrighty, I did just check with a toothpick and it came out clean, so we're going to pull this little dude. He is not quite as sloped, but sloped just the same. I think when I assemble it to frost, I can probably balance that out a little bit. Just offset the things and stick them top to top. That'll be a while, so I'm going to let these guys cool. The first one's pretty cool now, but I'm going to let this cool. We're going to come back after a little bit and then make the frosting. And that'll be it for about this week's worth of cooking. Okay, so here's what I got. Here's the first one we did. Excuse some of the little pokey parts over here. What I did was offset them, and the tops, for as little bit of a time as they touch each other, kind of stuck, but that's okay. So we still got to make a frosting, and I'm fixing to do that now. And then I think if I put the thick end of this one on the shallow end of this one, it should balance itself back out, and won't no one know after it gets frosted. I swear, that too is a workout, but ooh, let me show you. Hopefully, let me try this again without the camera shining on it so badly. Maybe that's not going to work. Let's try. How about that? That is about as creamy as I think I'm going to get that by hand. It's got a couple little lumps in it, but I think it'll be okay. That's a workout, let me tell you. Now there we go. I think that's going to be it. I know it's not going to win any baking contests or anything, but you know, considering, I think it came out really good. I am pretty pleased with it. Not a bad looking cake, I don't think. So anyhow, I want to thank you guys for watching. We'll cut into it later on this evening, but that's pretty much it. Please pardon me for housewares. I've already buttoned up the kitchen tent for the week, or at least until next weekend, and we're kind of slacking on getting dinner going, so I cut me off a small piece as a late afternoon snack, I suppose. I just wanted enough daylight to film it, so here's what we got. It is a real pretty looking cake. Nice and moist. Tastes just like a spice cake at, oops, runaway. That was almost bad. Really good. Sorry if I was pausing to see if I could actually identify the secret ingredient, which I can't say yet because my wife hasn't tasted it. But yep. It's a keeper. I'm gonna make it again. It's really good. So, sorry, mouthful. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us today, and we'll see you next time.